The wisdom of wild bonds, traditional healing, and the ethics of animal life. In a world increasingly shaped by technological intervention and pharmaceutical precision, the care of animals, whether domestic pets, farm livestock, or exotic species, has become a domain of clinical expertise. Veterinary medicine has made remarkable strides in extending life, treating disease, and managing pain. Yet beneath this progress lies a quieter, older wisdom. The natural, intuitive, and relational methods of care practiced by indigenous tribes, Aboriginal communities, and traditional pastoral cultures for centuries, even millennia. These approaches, often dismissed as antiquated or unscientific, offer not only a different way of tending to animals, but a fundamentally different philosophy of life itself, one that prioritizes vitality, instinct, and sovereignty over mere survival. Natural care is not simply a set of techniques. It is a worldview. It recognizes animals as sentient beings with rhythms, instincts, and emotional landscapes. It honors the intelligence of the body, the healing power of the earth, and the relational bond between human and animal. In this paradigm, care is not imposed. It is offered, observed, and co-created. The healer is not a technician but a listener, a witness, and a steward of life's natural flow. Across cultures and continents, this ethos has manifested in diverse ways. Indigenous tribes have long used herbal medicine, energetic healing, and environmental integration to support animal health. Aboriginal communities observe behavioral cues and subtle shifts in energy to diagnose imbalance before it becomes illness. Cowboys and pastoralists, often romanticized for their rugged independence, have historically relied on intuitive touch, natural diets, and close observation to maintain the health and performance of their horses and cattle. These methods are not relics of a primitive past. They are expressions of a deep, embodied knowledge that modern science is only beginning to rediscover. Consider the use of herbal remedies. Long before the advent of antibiotics and synthetic drugs, healers turned to plants. Garlic for parasites, comfrey for wounds, turmeric for inflammation. These remedies were not chosen at random, but through generations of observation, experimentation, and spiritual attunement. They were often administered in ways that respected the animal's autonomy, allowing for self-selection or gentle encouragement rather than force. Today, studies confirm the efficacy of many such treatments, yet they remain marginalized in mainstream veterinary practice, overshadowed by the speed and certainty of pharmaceutical intervention. Beyond physical treatment, traditional care also attends to the emotional and energetic dimensions of animal well-being. Animals, like humans, experience stress, trauma, and emotional imbalance. Indigenous healers have long recognized this, using techniques such as song, touch, ritual, and environmental adjustment to restore harmony. A horse that refuses to be saddled may not be defiant but distressed. A dog that growls at strangers may be protecting a boundary, not exhibiting pathology. In traditional frameworks, these behaviors are not suppressed but decoded, understood, and addressed with compassion. Environmental integration is another cornerstone of natural care. Animals thrive when they are allowed to express their instincts, roaming, foraging, socializing, nesting. Confinement, artificial diets, and sensory deprivation can lead to a host of physical and psychological issues, from obesity and joint degeneration to anxiety and aggression. Traditional pastoralists understand this intuitively. They rotate grazing patterns, allow for seasonal migration, and design enclosures that mimic natural habitats. The result is not only healthier animals, but more resilient ecosystems. Perhaps most striking is the impact of natural care on performance. Horses treated with intuitive methods often show greater responsiveness, endurance, and emotional stability than those subjected to rigid training regimens and pharmaceutical enhancement. Livestock raised on natural diets and free-range environments exhibit stronger immune systems, better reproductive health, and fewer chronic conditions. Even exotic animals, when allowed to live in enriched environments that honor their instincts, demonstrate higher cognitive function, more complex social behaviors, and reduced stress markers. This raises a profound question: what is the true measure of health? Is it the absence of disease, the extension of life, or the presence of vitality, instinct, and joy? Modern veterinary care often prioritizes longevity and symptom management, sometimes at the expense of quality of life. Animals are kept alive through repeated surgeries, chronic medication, and artificial supports that may prolong suffering rather than alleviate it. A dog with advanced arthritis may live several more years with painkillers and joint replacements, but is it living well? A horse with metabolic disease may be stabilized through hormonal manipulation, but has it lost its spirit, its fire, its freedom? Corrective care, while often necessary and compassionate, can also compromise natural function. Artificial joints may limit mobility. Hormonal treatments may dull instincts. Overmedication can suppress the body's own healing mechanisms. In some cases, interventions mask deeper imbalances, nutritional deficiencies, emotional trauma, environmental stress, that traditional care would address holistically. The result is a paradox. Animals live longer but not necessarily better. This tension invites a deeper ethical reflection. Are we preserving life or prolonging suffering? Are we treating animals as sovereign beings or as biological systems to be managed? Are we listening to their needs or imposing our own desires, be they emotional attachment, economic utility, or performance goals? Natural care offers an alternative. It does not reject modern medicine, but reframes its role. Intervention becomes a last resort, not a default. The goal is not to override the body, but to support it. Healing is not imposed, but invited. The animal is not a passive recipient, but an active participant in its own well-being. This philosophy resonates with mythic archetypes: the wild horse, the sacred cow, the shamanic bond between human and beast. These symbols remind us that animals are not mere resources or companions. They are teachers, mirrors, and co-creators of life. They embody instincts we have forgotten, rhythms we have suppressed, and wisdom we desperately need to remember. In this light, natural care becomes more than a method. It becomes a path of reconnection. It invites us to slow down, observe, and listen. It asks us to honor the intelligence of the body, the healing power of nature, and the sacred bond between species. It challenges us to move beyond control and correction toward partnership and presence. This is not a romantic fantasy. It is a practical, ethical, and spiritual imperative. As we face ecological collapse, species extinction, and the commodification of life, the way we care for animals reflects the way we care for the world. Natural care is not a return to the past, it is a return to wisdom. It is a reclaiming of sovereignty for animals and for ourselves. In embracing this path, we must also confront our own discomfort. Natural care requires discernment, patience, and humility. It may mean allowing an animal to pass peacefully, rather than prolonging its life through invasive procedures. It may mean accepting limitations, rather than forcing outcomes. It may mean trusting the body's wisdom over our own fears. Yet in doing so, we create a space for true healing. We honor the animal's dignity, autonomy, and spirit. We cultivate resilience, vitality, and joy. We restore the sacred bond between human and animal, healer and companion, earth and life. This is the promise of natural care. Not just longer life, but better life. Not just performance, but presence. Not just survival, but sovereignty.